These are the 5 things that are great about the Xbox Series X. What's going on, guys? My name is Hani. As we all know, we have a new generation of gaming bestowed upon us by the holy beings at Sony and Microsoft, bringing us 2 brand new consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And while we're all hopped up on the excitement of this new generation, we should really take a look at what really makes this generation as great as it's claimed to be. You don't just hop out of bed one day and decide, yes, this new console generation is incredible without knowing the facts. So we're gonna break down the 5 things that makes the Xbox Series X so great. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video at any point. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos. It helps the channel out a lot. And make sure to hit the noti bell so you can join Noti Squad and so you don't miss out on future videos. I've also started streaming on Twitch, and if you don't want to miss out on next gen consoles and gaming, I'll be unboxing and playing the new consoles on launch on there. So make sure to go ahead and check that out as well. The link is in the description. Hit that follow button so you don't miss out. Alright, now here's the 5 things that are great about the Xbox Series X. Number 1, it is technically more powerful than the PS5. I kind of wanted to do this first and get this out of the way because I don't want this video to become a whole console wars thing. Look guys, I love Sony, I love PlayStation, but this is just the reality. We're all thinking it in the back of our heads. I'm just the one to say it out loud. Look, the Xbox Series X on paper is more powerful. It pushes out 12 teraflops of power while the PlayStation 5 just has 10. There's no getting around it. When it comes to raw power, the Xbox Series X has the edge. What this means is when it comes to multi-platform titles, there may be a few advantages working in the Xbox Series X's favor, like more detailed textures, maybe further draw distances, or maybe more graphical settings, whatever the case may be. And while the difference between 10 teraflops to 12 teraflops might not seem like a lot, it's too early to tell how much of a difference it'll really make when it comes to performance of a video game on 2 different consoles. I personally don't believe it'll make a significant enough difference to matter, but for the purists out there who want the absolute best of the best, this is something to consider. Console exclusives, first-party titles, and even multi-platform titles will be taking advantage of that 12 teraflops, and it'll really let us know what the console is capable of, so I'm really looking forward to that. Number 2, seamless backwards compatibility. This is something Microsoft has been really good at from the beginning. While the PS5 will offer backwards compatibility for most PS4 games, there are literally a handful of PS4 games that won't be backwards compatible, and it makes you wonder what kind of process they're using that limits their backwards compatibility in such an odd way. The Xbox Series X, on the other hand, has taken a much more ambitious and a much better approach objectively. The Xbox Series X will be backwards compatible with Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox games, which is absolutely incredible. If that's not something to get worked up about, I don't know what is. Granted, if you're raised on PlayStation and your entire backlog is PlayStation games, there's nothing for you to really care about here, but to be able to play old Xbox games without having to set up all your old Xbox consoles is a big plus in my books. And this is an even bigger advantage when you hear about some of the PS5 backward compatibility with PS4 games being a little buggy. I saw a video of someone trying to run PS4 Resident Evil 7 on PS5, and while it did work, in the outdoors, when you look at the sky, it looked like an oil painting as if someone just painted it right there. These kind of little glitches that are being reported with PS5 to PS4 backward compatibility, I don't expect to see that at all on the Xbox Series X. Number 3 is the availability of extra peripherals. Microsoft has done very well in the peripherals department. Microsoft has done very well in the peripherals department, and while they may not have innovated their controller the way Sony did with the PlayStation 5 DualSense, they do offer an upgraded controller that is obviously totally optional. It's definitely pricey, no doubt about that, but the Xbox Elite 2 controller comes with some amazing additions that makes me want to buy the controller, and I don't even own an Xbox yet. With its inclusion of 4 back paddles, a plethora of thumbsticks to customize with, as well as quality of life features like a stand to charge on, I'm truly envious that PlayStation doesn't have a similar offering. Although at that price point I probably wouldn't buy it, I would at least hope that Sony would offer something similar, at least a PS5 controller with back paddles. Xbox will also have an expandable storage option at launch, which is a must for many people. Granted, it'll be expensive, almost as expensive as the system itself, but at least you have the option in case this is something you truly can't live without. Number 4, its simple form factor is very unassuming and versatile. Now, I may or may not have bashed the Xbox Series X design for being a little boring and bland, and I may or may not still feel the same way about it to this day, but my subjectivity does not resonate with everyone. While I may not be a fan of the Series X design, I can appreciate it, and I understand that people may find its simple and unassuming design to be more versatile and less of a visual bulge or a nuisance. They can have it sit on their TV stand without it being too much of a distraction. Number 5, Microsoft now owns Bethesda. Now this isn't directly related to the Series X, or maybe it is. I think it goes without saying that Microsoft rocked the gaming world with this announcement. Microsoft shocked everyone everyone when they out of the blue announced their acquisition of Bethesda. Bethesda is a developer that has churned out a lot of people's favorite beloved titles, including titles that I really love like Doom, Wolfenstein, Prey, the list goes on, and now that they're owned by Microsoft, what this means for the future of these titles is still a little unclear. We still don't know whether Microsoft plans on making these titles exclusive to their platforms or if they're still willing to make them multi-platform. They still stand to gain from the profit of the IPs being sold on other platforms. It is likely that Microsoft will implement some sort of advantageous scenario for themselves in one way or another, whether it's to have exclusive content on their platform or just to get Bethesda to make a brand new original IP that was born on and is exclusive to Xbox. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but I'm almost certain we can expect to see some form of Xbox exclusivity at some point. Alright, now I wanted to add this little bonus here. It's the Game Pass. I wanted to add this as a bonus because one, Sony doesn't offer anything close to this, and it is also a tremendously valuable service. It's not something I would personally sign up for because I like to own my games when I buy them, and this might sound like boomer talk a decade down the line, but as games become more and more expensive, it almost feels like a no-brainer to have a subscription-based service like Game Pass as an option. The fact that Microsoft offers this gives them a huge advantage to the competition because it makes gaming a little more affordable and accessible for those who don't want to spend a hefty $80 upfront for every single game when they can get access to a whole library of games for like $15 a month or whatever the subscription fee per month is for Game Pass. So while this isn't exclusive to the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series X stands to greatly benefit from this. That's the end of the list. Is there anything on this list that resonates with you? Were you able to secure an Xbox Series X pre-order? Were you able to buy one on launch? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one. Get your head in the game.